Sign versus symbol. This is a big distinction that Jung comes along with when approaching Freud's approach to dreams and the unconscious. And Jung tells us that there's a very important difference between the symbol and the sign. Symbol cannot be exhausted. That's what we're going to be exploring today on The Living Philosophy. One of the tropes of Freudian dream interpretation is that every object is like, it's either a penis or a vagina. Everything is like that, and you reduce it to that. It's a phallic symbol. Of course, it's a phallic symbol. That microphone, phallic symbol. And, it's like a comedic trope made out of what Freud is doing. And in Freudian dream interpretation, that's like a sign, you know what I mean? So this means that, and that's the end of it. So that's that's a phallic symbol, and symbol and sign are synonymous in Freud, as far as I understand it. A symbol is a sign. So for Freud, when he's talking about these objects, it's like this means that. And so if you go to a dream dictionary and it says that this is that, then it's this equivalency as if dreams are only using images and drama because it's illiterate, because the unconscious doesn't know how to write words. And so that's the impression you get with a Freudian analysis approach, where it's an interpretation where you go, oh, it's this and that means that and that means that, and so we can read the dream. This is the real message of the dream in writing, and that's supposed to contain the entirety of the dream. Jung disagrees though. He comes along, and it's like a Heraclitus' thing, is that the oracle at Delphi neither answers directly nor indirectly, but merely gives a sign. It's like that Eastern saying of the wise man points to the moon, but the fool only sees the finger. What we're talking about is the difference between an experience and the words that talk about that experience. And so a symbol in a dream is kind of like what philosophers call qualia. It's something that you experience rather than something that you can describe exhaustively in words. So let's say the colour green, explaining the colour green to a blind person, it's not something you can do, and it's only when you try to do it that you realise that green doesn't fit in words. Green cannot be exhausted. Green cannot be interpreted. So if you say to a blind man that green is soft like satin or green is like music, it's partly true. You've captured a little bit of what green is. You've tried to capture the spirit of green in some sense, but you have not captured green at all, because green is an experience. You go, it's something living. And so to experience green versus those words, it's a very different thing. And for Jung, this is the difference between a symbol and a sign, is that a symbol, yes, you can get the meaning of a symbol. You can kind of get the direction it's pointing in, but a symbol can point in many directions, in the same way that a person doesn't have a meaning. They've got a living force, and you can say certain things about a person, but you cannot exhaustively nail them down. Same with the colour green. You can say things about it, but you cannot nail it down. Even a scientific definition of green is between X and Y nanometers on the electromagnetic spectrum. That'll tell you where to find green, but it doesn't tell you what it is. So you can have these descriptors with a symbol, but a symbol is not contained in the words that translate it. So let's take something like an archetype. Let's take an archetype of the collective unconscious. So let's say something like the king archetype. Or no, actually, let's stick with a symbol, because archetypes have so much life, there's so much electricity about them, and they can become quite complicated. But let's just take like a simple symbol that happens in a dream. So let's take a bathroom, for example. Now, a bathroom, I guess if you looked at the dream dictionary, bathroom would probably be something like the place where you go to deal with your negative emotions. And that's tied into the fact that you're expelling this useless waste from your body. You've processed something, and now you're excreting it. And so the analogy there with the dream symbol would be that what it means is that you've processed this emotion, you've processed this experience, and now you're letting it pass out of you as waste, and you're getting rid of it. You've dealt with it. Now that is, I couldn't just translate it like that and remove the idea of a toilet, because you've also got the connotations of that bathroom, of that toilet. There's much more of there's a living symbol there. What was the bathroom like? What was the toilet like? Was it dirty? Was it clean? Did it remind you of the toilets in school, or of the toilets in a fancy hotel? What was the feeling? There's so much more to that symbol that can't be caught in that dream dictionary definition. Now, the dream dictionary definitions, I love websites like Dream Moves and Dream Dreamhawk and Dream Bible, because they give you a starting point. They can get you thinking, oh, could the symbol be referring to something like that? And you start to think, it gets you thinking. It's a starting point. But to say that that is what the symbol means and that's it misses the whole point, because there's so many angles you can go back and approach it from. Is what does the bathroom mean? What was the waste I was expelling? So you begin to ask all these questions and approach it from many different things. And Jung would say that symbol is alive. It's not exhaustible, because it's not just the words. It's not even if you drew out 100 different meanings, it's not that, because there's a feeling that goes with it. There's an affect, there's connotations of the heart that go with the experience of a symbol. And that's something that can never be caught on words. In the same way that you can describe the colour green in scientific terms or in metaphors, but to capture the actual experience of green, what it's like to look at green, what the soothing effect of it, or the electrifying effect of what it reminds you of in terms of life, that can't be encapsulated. And so that's the difference between a symbol, which is a Freudian distinction now, and a sign, which is what Freud is kind of limiting himself to with these direct interpretations. So that's everything that I want to share on today's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give us a thumbs up down below, and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd love to hear from you as ever down in the comments if you have anything to add. And otherwise, I shall see you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.